let's move to our final presentation by Kaisa, and Nora will also present Marketplace briefly there during this presentation. So a lot of claps for you, Nora. And yes, Kaisa, so the floor is yours, please.
Yeah, hello. So I will give the short rest for the Nora, and I'm first introducing you to the Replication Handbook, which is one of our goals and results, or will be in the end of the project at latest. But I am Kaisa Sibelius, and I'm coming from the Forum Firim Helsinki, which is the innovation company owned by the city of Helsinki. And now you have heard many results and outcomes of the project so far, and which then they will be also presented in this handbook. However, it's not, they are not there yet. But the Replication Handbook is the, as I said already, mentioned that one goal of the project, and we want to create and share replicable practices and relevant learnings based on the activities and results of this project, and it will be the comprehensive guide that ties in the TREASoURcE key results. And our purpose is to produce a detailed and useful resource that summarizes and connects the main outcomes and impacts of such as innovations or methodologies or lessons learned. And the information is organized in the handbook according to TREASoURCE's 3 main areas of interest, so plastic waste and battery repurposing and this bio-based side stream and waste. And what we want is to document and disseminate the work and what is based on our experiences, so that somebody can benefit them and apply it in their own context. But because the project is it's midway and we have released the handbook website already quite early, it's still in the development process, and it's a living document which we will update and develop until the end of the project. But at the moment, the content and articles are divided in 2 categories, which are the best practices and use cases, where the best practice articles will guide and provide the instructions on how to replicate or copy the system activities developing TREASoURcE, and the use cases will illustrate example cases on which are done in this project, and we will tell that how we did it and end up our recommendations in the best practices. And the next slide, and those three key value chains are probably the most logical way to navigate the site, but you can also sort articles by industry and focus on the materials with relevant information from your own perspective, such as administration or business or non-profit organizations, for example. So you won't need to go through everything if you don't want to. And in the end, I would like to invite you to visit the site and also give the feedback. There is a form for that. So because we are interested in to get ideas that what there should be and what you are looking for mainly. And the idea is, our purpose is to create the handbook the Replication Handbook as a permanent site that will continue to be active even after the project. And so that was from my side, and now Nora will come back and tell more about one case example which is already on the site. Please, Nora, and thank you.
Thank you, Kaisa. So now I'll present you some examples from the Replication Handbook, which are about the KiertoaSuomesta TREASoURcE.fi platform. I'll first briefly tell you what it's all about, and then about what you can find from the handbook. So it's a market. Oh, if we can go back, Nina, please. Yes, so it's a digital marketplace for bio-based side and waste streams, mainly from or everything from primary production, agriculture, forestry, to food industry and any green areas from municipalities, any bio-based side and waste streams. And the aim of our project is to develop the marketplace to better serve the utilization of these streams, to create new business models or business model opportunities for primary production and other actors as well. There can be listings made on the site to either sell or buy these streams. And in order to see everything from the postings, there needs to be registration, where you can see here is the login page. The service is free to use for everybody, but it's currently open only for companies, so it requires a business ID in order to get in. And it's currently working in Finland. There are English version and a Swedish version as well, if you want to go check it out. And then on the next slide, the benefits for the users of the digital marketplace. There are, of course, economic benefits from selling materials, and then business diversification, as it provides new opportunities for income generation. And then there's the waste disposal aspects, cleaning benefit for certain materials considered, which are considered waste, which can be valuable raw materials for others. And then there's, of course, the environmental advantage from more efficient use of resources. The new customers and partners, which can be found by using the sites. And I wrote learning here as well, because we are creating these content pages to the platform, which contain information about circular economy side streams from several perspectives, and we're about to extend these. On the next slide, you can see all the different stakeholders that this platform brings together. Jan actually explained quite a bit about these ecosystems, but here on the left-hand side, you can see the producers of these bio-based side and waste streams, agricultural side, and then food industry, forestry, and so on. In the middle section, there are the organizers or utilizers for these materials, logistics, which is an important area related to basically everything, biogas plants and different biorefineries, wastewater treatment plants, and so on. And on the right-hand box, there are the users of these materials. Again, farmers who might use these side materials on their own farms, but then in addition, industry operators, producers of biochar, recycled fertilizers, and so on. Yes, here it's a screenshot of the Replication Handbook, where you can find more information about the marketplace and our future plans regarding it. Something about our new logistics tool, which will be published soon. I can share the links to the chat after this. And then this one is about how to do it and how to replicate it, building up the digital marketplace. So we've gathered some aspects which we've thought to be very important in creating a similar marketplace for, well, bio-based side streams, but these could of course be for any side streams wanted. Background research in the beginning, to analyze the already existing platforms and current practices of how bio-based side and waste streams are utilized currently, or whether they are at all. And then the organization or team should have knowledge about the value chains chosen, and about the target audience as well, and probably good connections there. I think that is important. Then there's governance, where we've found that governance regarding data openness, for example, about the bio-based side and waste streams, and where they are located on a map from public sources, is important and can have a major impact on the potential to develop these utilization possibilities, affecting the market for these biostreams. Then we've run into these legislative aspects and matters several times, not just in the policy framework analysis I presented earlier, but related to the platform. And there needs to be understanding of the legal aspects regulating the field, the handling of these side of waste streams, but also regulations regarding online marketplaces, GDPR aspects, and so on. And then finance, money talks is often said. And in our case, the procurement of IT development, which should be thought through in detail, and all the functionalities wanted to the platform, which add costs. For example, identification of users through these bank ID software and so on, and interfaces to other platforms, and to synchronize different sites with other digital marketplaces or map platforms for biomasses. In our case, we've thought about the Biomass Atlas, for example. And regarding the finance, it should be sort of taken into consideration that in addition to building up the platform, there, in our case at least, there is a monthly fee for taking care of it. And lastly, there's the stakeholders, which is very important, as we've heard today, and close cooperation with different actors. In this case, both from the primary stakeholders, which would be the users of the sites, but also secondary stakeholders who take care of governance and different local officials and so on. And marketing to these stakeholders is really a key thing, which relates to the earlier finance as well. And these were our gatherings on how to set up a digital marketplace. You'll find much more from the link, so please go check it out, and we'd be happy to hear any feedback you have from the site. Thank you for listening.
Yes, thank you, Nora. Indeed, we've been working on this replication potential for quite a while, and digital marketplace is the first case from our side that describes those basic criteria, I can say, or like basic aspects that are needed to replicate this practice. So very much encourage you to go and to read that through and give us a feedback if that was relevant or not, or maybe something was missing. So I think that would be very much appreciated from our side. Okay, but thanks to everyone. Thanks to presenters. Now we can go to the discussion session. So all the presenters, please put your cameras on. And yes, I cannot see any questions from the chat. Someone wants to raise their hand and ask a question from the audience. Please be active. Do not hesitate if you have something on your mind. Do not hesitate to ask. Okay, but meanwhile, our audience is thinking through the questions. I think we can a bit discuss Pirkanmaa municipalities, which were very well presented by Jana. And I understand Pirkanmaa is a heterogeneous region, right? So there are a lot of municipalities, and the size varies from 2,000 inhabitants to 200,000, right? So how does that affect your work, Jana? How can, what obstacles it creates for you? I imagine there are obstacles when there's so many different, like, so different municipalities with different aspects involved in there.
Yeah, and actually, we haven't worked so much with the local bioeconomy model in the bigger cities in Pirkanmaa region, because as I showed the map about the biogas plants in Pirkanmaa regions, there are already many in Tampere, in the city of Tampere, and also near it, because there's so much bio-waste and other biomasses to use there. So also there's more money in that kind of cities, bigger cities. So there are already these biogas plants, and they are planning these themselves. But with the smaller one, we have had some challenges, because they have agriculture more, and so they have biomasses from agriculture more than in the cities, but they have small resources. They have less people in the municipalities to work with us, and they have also maybe less money to make the investments. So it's kind of challenging, but I think that we have found good partners, good stakeholders here, and that's how we can promote this either way.
Okay. I think the farmers, working with farmers was also something that was interesting for me. And since we already had a question also how many farmers were approached, so maybe you can also share experience with work. How do you work with them, and how do you approach them? How do you reach out to them? Because it's not like you send an email and they will answer you.
No,
right?
it's not. No, they don't have time to answer to emails, because they have this farming work to do. But actually, because of Nora mentioned the GDPR in some subject, the GDPR was very difficult, and it challenged us, because we didn't have any list for the connection of the farmers. How could we have their names and any listings of them? And the municipalities couldn't give that to us. So we had to find the farmers by doing the press releases with the municipalities, and also with social media, and searching. We had 1 or 2 contacts from them, and when we called them by phone, and we chose the timing that they wouldn't be in the field or with the animals. So we called them, and then we asked these things: how much biomasses do you have, and how much you would like to give it, and would you like to be in a joint venture, and things like that. And then we asked if he or she knows somebody else from who to ask. So that's how we did get the information. It wasn't easy.
Yes, absolutely. I can imagine it's an excellent work that you've done. So because that's a target group that's very hard to reach. Yeah. Okay, but Jan, maybe you can just say a few words about the recycling trailer that you mentioned. Do you think there's like an important element for replication of this trailer in other countries? Like, what is or many different aspects are important. Maybe you can name just a few of them if any other countries are thinking about replication such practice.
Yeah, of course, something you have incentives for developing it, like policy and on funding, for instance, from funders that would either require the use or the sorting of waste at different kinds of events in this way, which would enable also the use of the trailer. Then you have also setting up the collaboration here with the trailer. The main cost is the development cost, and also so setting them up and finding funding. And getting the collaboration between the event organizers and the business different parties is one of the crucial aspects. Then also is for those who want to replicate it, it's also to think about how you can, when it's put into use, how you to have a program for communicating and marketing it in the site, also on the sorting to enable the best kind of sorting and recycling at the events. Those are the three, I think, main aspects. Yeah.
Yes, good. Thank you. Yes, I think we will also have it in replication. Handbook is just now in the process of being described, but to all our listeners, we will have this description in replication handbook, and we hope that this practice can be transferred to other countries as well. I especially liked myself the fact that it can be educative for children, for instance, because children can see, illustrative for illustrative purposes was very, very good and interesting. Okay, we have a question in the chat. Is there also farmers with plant production involved, or are the farmers mostly animal producers? I think that's to Jana.
Yes, we focused on the animal producers because we wanted to know the situation of the manure, but we also had some contacts for the plant production farms too. And of course, when it's this is going a little bit further and we are going to have these biogas plants, then it is going to be a recipe for this biogas plant, what is included there. Then we can contact again and ask, for example, in press releases and social media, who would like to be involved, because then we can also have this plant production involved. And also, of course, they are the ones that possibly need the digestate residue as a fertilizer too.
Okay, then another question about those right times to approach the farmers. So could you share that knowledge with us? What are those right times?
Yes, so I wouldn't try to contact the farmers now when it's summer. So now it's not the good time. It would be if we think about the year, it would be from October to March or April, perhaps in Finland. And also we would contact around 10 to 3 in the daytime, because I think if they have the animals, they are in the mornings and in the evenings taking care of them. So that would be the good timing.
Thank you.
And I
Yes,
might
Nora,
add
please.
that if during summer, be precise in the time after sowing, so this time, and before the first harvest for fodder grass. So some specific time in June perhaps, but yes, not much, as Jana said.
And you should look about the temperature and what kind of weather it has been, because this year it's quite of late.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, but Nora, about the digital marketplace, we developed those categories for replication, but I'm just wondering, what are those mistakes we made? What are our lessons learned? Maybe we can share that openly. I think that's totally fine. I mean, for others to learn from our experience. Is there something that you could outline, maybe?
Well, perhaps I believe many would say this after an IT solution being created, but I wish we would have had more resources or perhaps money reserved for the technological developments. Once you start creating these kinds of things, you just always make up more and more things that could be nice to add and nice additives to the sites. And perhaps something related to marketing of the sites, which could have probably been started and planned earlier. Because we did launch a big seminar, which I think was a great success, and it was good. But in addition, to take care of social media effectively and so on. Actually, yes, utilizing social media better would be perhaps part of my answer.
Okay. Jari, you have a question here in the chat. Do you want to open your to pose it yourself, or because I see you're here?
That was one question in my mind. So how to make the millionaire, how to have money from these good solutions for the Scandinavia area, because we are so damn small. Even that if you calculate together Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Finland, Estonia, we are smaller than Tokyo, even if you compare to Tokyo metropolitan area, and China, India, and so on. How to make a scalable and modular solution, even that these are local solutions, but these are always scalable. So should we somehow do more work for having these scalable and modular solutions so that we can sell those solutions outside? That was some kind of general question. So I'm just challenging this local picture versus the rest of the world picture, because the problem is so huge.
Yeah.
I could perhaps try to answer. I don't know about the millionaires, but we know that, for example, in United States, they have this organic food shop, which is very popular, and I think the owners are perhaps millionaires. So because we have had here in our municipalities, we have had the ideas that they could have some kind of agroecological symbiosis where they could have a local food shop that would sell the food which is produced with the own fertilizers, organic fertilizers there. So maybe in that sector they could perhaps have that kind of business ideas that we could perhaps be millionaires, but we would need that all the people in Scandinavia, all the people would like to have local organic food and would like to consume it. So we would have the markets, and also we could perhaps have same kind of ways to do these kind of businesses in Scandinavian countries.
I think this is definitely what we will look into more in TREASoURcE, because we are now midterm, right? And we will have an opportunity to think more about this scalability of solutions, I think, in the upcoming 2 years. So anyone wants to ask anything else from the audience? Nora, you want to mention something?
Yeah, I might add, I'm not sure I have the millionaire answer either, but related to this, I think that we need everyone on board and to get the word out effectively in order to create these ecosystems which Jana, for example, presented. And I think that's quite crucial in enhancing circular economy in general for the bio-based sector.
Yes, right. Okay. I have one question about biogas digestate. I'm not sure if I pronounce it correctly. So I understand that this is something that should be certified as well, or are there certification issues involved in order for it to be solved? And what's the current state in Finland? Is it something that is easy to get certified, or rather not?
Actually, if the question is about the digestate residue as a fertilizer from the biogas plants that use bio-waste or manure or agricultural side streams, I think this is very something that is wanted, and it's not so difficult to sell it. But when we speak about the sewage sludge, which is from wastewater treatment plants and it's from the toilets, then it's a little bit more difficult. It's a question, as Nora said, it's a question about the restrictions, but it's also some kind of a sensible question to use it as a fertilizer. We have from this organization that I mentioned, Finnish Biocycle and Biogas Association, we have laatulannoitejärjestelmä. It's the Finnish Quality Assurance Scheme, and it's some kind of certificate. I can put the link to the chat. It's briefly in English there. So we have that kind of system, and I think these are quite good, but it's free for organizations to have it.
And I was actually just at their workshop. They're creating new certificates. They are not free, to my understanding, because the costs have been or were discussed, but they are creating them and developing. And I think that someone was discussing that similar cases are in other countries as well, these national certification systems.
Yeah, and about the free that I mentioned, it was that it's not, you don't have to do that kind of certificate. It's free to choose if you want it.
Okay, so nothing in the chat, but if our audience wants to ask questions later on, then that's also totally fine. Maybe all our other presenters from other sessions can turn on videos as well, because I will conclude now by just saying that I would like to thank everyone for participating in this webinar. We hope it was very interesting for you. We hope that you got some new knowledge, and of course, we hope that you will also continue following our work. Our website is very easy, so it's TREASoURcE.eu. You can go in and subscribe to the newsletter. Also, the recording of this webinar will be available soon, so we'll be happy to share that. And yes, reach out to us if you have any questions or collaboration opportunities. So we will be very, very happy to cooperate with you. Okay, but thank you, and let's have a final wave for everyone.